Hello, today we're going to preview this online course on polynomial functions. This course is designed for 11th grade students that are in Algebra 2. It's designed as a self-paced virtual learning, or it could also be used kind of as a self-paced flipped classroom where students do a lot of learning on their own and will come into the classroom and ask questions and take their assessments that way. So the course is housed in Canvas. I use Canvas because I'm very familiar with it, and I like a lot of the different features that it provides. So this is our home page, and we have a nice little banner here, and then we have the four different modules broken down on this home page. And each of these are like our learning objectives. So if we look at our first module, we're all talking about operations with polynomials. Module 2 is graphing polynomials. Module 3 is factoring and dividing polynomials. And then 4 is like those applications. So let's look at this first module here. So when you click on it, it'll take you to module 1 and all the content that is there. It's broken down into a Nearpod video. So students can click on the Nearpod video. It'll take them to a link where they can join in. And there's also formative assessments built in to the Nearpod so that they can hit and play the video. Along the way here, there's these little questions that are like little self-checks for understanding as they progress through the video. After they've watched the video, you can hit next. There is some practice. So I've integrated Google AI, the Learn About. Students can just search exponent rules and it gives them all they need to know about exponent rules as well as some practice problems. I've provided some paper assignments, again, as like a flipped classroom environment. You could use that. And then I've also included adaptive learning environment using IXL. So that each of these are links to different exponent rules that students can just click on, takes them right to the IXL, and they can get that adaptive practice on that skill. Once they have gone through the video and then they have done the practice, then they can go through and do the check for understanding. So it's a Canvas quiz. And then this is kind of what it looks like on a student end. They have a couple questions that are all related to that content that they have to go through. There are 10 questions. How I have it set up is that students must score at least a 70% on this Canvas quiz before they can move on to the next part of the module. So the first part of the module is just exponent rules. They need to pass this check for understanding before they can move on to the next part. And that's kind of how that theme is throughout the entire course. We have some videos. For some things I did just create, there's little infographics where identifying polynomials in this case, it can be easily seen through a visual as opposed a video. And again, another check for understanding on that. And then once they've finished that third check for understanding, then they can finally take that Module 1 assessment. So this is covering all of those learning objectives in that first module into one summative assessment there at the end. Once they have finished the Module 1 assessment, I just have them submit. It doesn't have to be a passing grade or anything, just submit it. Then Module 2 will unlock. And then Module 2 is done the exact same way, but instead of videos, I am using explorative Desmos activities, where students have to use Desmos to explore, in this case, graphing polynomial functions. What does it mean for it to be even versus odd? Roots, min, max, and then same thing, they have these check for understandings that they have to pass for at least 70% to move on. Then that Module 2 assessment. Again, that summative part. For Module 3, same thing with Module 1 where we have like a Nearpod video. We have these IXL's adaptive practice. There is like a little infographic on factoring. So they can kind of flow chart, figure out what are they doing. And then same as it goes on, more check for understandings, more Nearpods, and it just follows that same process each time. And then again, that summative assessment at the end. The last module is all these applications, and there's just 4 different application tasks, and these are more critical thinking activities that are really applying what they've learned in the last 3 modules. And that is my course so far.